DMZ Season 3 has added some really cool new tools and mechanics to the game that kind of change how you approach some of the missions. The new faction, Redacted, actually has missions that revolve around these tools, and in this video I'm going to show you how to complete Dark Water. In this mission we are tasked with finding a rebreather, which is one of those new tools. Then you need to find the cartel warehouse key from the easternmost sunken ship in Al Mazrah, and I'll show you exactly where you have to go to find that because it's not entirely obvious. And then you have to find and extract the cartel laptop from the warehouse. And this warehouse is a new location within DMZ. I think the building was there before, but it's a new locked door. As always, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. Now, in DMZ, they've added a lot of new spawns, and this one was particularly weird. We spawned on top of these pipes, kind of near Side City in the port. It was really useful because we wanted to get to port, but yeah, this was a really bizarre spawn. Now, in theory, you're meant to do this mission by getting the rebreather, then going and getting the key, and then you can open up the warehouse, get the documents, and extract. But we did things in a slightly different order because there's another new awesome feature that's been added to DMZ. And that's the skeleton key. So this is a key that you can get from the barter menu within the buy stations, and in order to get it, you need to trade a GPU for it. GPUs are still fairly rare. You can actually make them at some of the buy stations. I don't know what you need. It's like you need a bunch of gold bars, I think, and some circuits. But if you do find a GPU, you can swap that at the barter station for a skeleton key, and that skeleton key will allow you to unlock 3 doors of your choice, so you just don't need to go find the normal keys for them, which is absolutely awesome for so many missions. I'm glad I didn't do guides for every single mission in DMZ, because now so many of them would just be, yeah, you don't need to find a key, just get a skeleton key and do it that way. I know GPUs are kind of hard to find, but still, it's a lot easier to find a GPU a lot of the time than it is to find a specific key out of the 90 or so that we know about. So at this point in the game, you can see on the right, we're actually doing Reconnaissance by Fire. This is a mission where you have to kill 7 cartel or Al-Qatala soldiers using the Kastov 762 with a different sight on it for each objective. So you start off with a reflex sight, then you put a VLK optic on, and then you need to put a thermal optic on. I think the idea behind this is it's meant to show off the new workstation thing, where you can go in with one sight on, then you can get your kills, and you can go change it at the workstation to put the other sight on, get some kills, and keep on doing it like that. Because there are 3 of us, we just each brought a Kastov in that had a different sight on it. Flynn drew the short straw and had to use the thermal scope, and then we each got 7 kills, and that completed the mission for us super quickly at the beginning of the game. But that does explain why we're using Kastov 762s for most of the rest of this match. It wasn't really by choice, it was just because we wanted to cheekily get that mission done a little bit quicker. So you can see here the buy station, and like I said, if you go to the bottom right menu, the barter, then you can see that there's a skeleton key there that just requires 1 GPU. There's also a bunch of other stuff on this menu. I've been using it to get 3 plate vests at the moment, because you can get a comms vest just by using 2 hard drives, 2 batteries, and some soothing hand cream, and that will get you a 3 plate vest. That's way easier to find than trying to get $35,000 or something like that. Obviously, other vests are available as well, and you just kind of need a different recipe for each one. But anyway, now Scotto had traded his GPU that he'd found in the previous game. He just somehow managed to find 2 GPUs in the same room, which was a bit bizarre, for the skeleton key, and that meant we could go and unlock the cartel warehouse to grab that laptop before we even went to the boat to go get the key. I also happened here to stumble across the rebreather, so this is something that you'll find as quite a common item. They're often just lying around at the side of places. I think you can find them in first aid kits sometime, but you shouldn't have too much difficulty finding one. If you're looting around, you'll grab them. So now I'll do the rest of this in the order you'll probably do it, because you probably won't have grabbed the skeleton key. So now you've got the rebreather, you found that somewhere, you need to find a boat and head on over to the sunken ship in order to get the key to the cartel warehouse. Now this is the sunken ship that you're looking for. It's this one that's poking out a little bit. So it's just kind of to the south of Sarif Bay, to the southeast of Sour Village. It's the one where, if you've followed my previous videos, where that special golden skull with the glyphs on it, where that one was, the thief's cache, that never ended up leading anywhere and didn't lead to an Easter egg and was kind of disappointing. But anyway, it's that boat. That's the one you're looking for. So once you're at the boat, then you can start diving down to look for it. We originally looked in the nose of the ship where the gold skull is. It's not in here, it's further down. But to use the rebreather, essentially while you're underwater, you want to press your field equipment button. So for me on Xbox, it's LBRB. On PlayStation, it's L1R1. I've got no idea what it is on PC. And then that will put it in your hand. Then whenever you want to breathe some air, you have to press the fire button or right trigger. That will let you take a breath. It's a little bit delayed, so don't do it when you're just about to run out of air. Make sure you kind of do it a little bit before. As soon as your vision starts going a little bit red, as soon as you start hearing the audio cues, then take a breath. You get 4 breaths with the rebreather before it's going to run out, which is plenty for this. So if you go in the main hold, then go all the way to the left, you should be able to see a table right at the end of the room. You can just see here, I was looking at locks and stuff, but it's just here on this table. There is the cartel warehouse key. It always spawns in the same place, so if it's not there for you, then that means some other player has already taken it and you're going to have to come back in to try again. So I can show you a little bit more on the map exactly where it is. If you look at a bit that's sticking out, it's slightly to the kind of east of it, a little bit to the north, I guess. But you can just swim straight down there, get to the hole and grab the key a little bit quicker than we did. Now you've got that key, you can go to the warehouse. We had already been to the warehouse in this because we used the skeleton key. I probably shouldn't have done this for a guide. It makes it very, very confusing. Anyway, let's show you where the warehouse is. The cartel warehouse you're looking for is a new location. It's within the port. You can see it here. It's kind of next to the massive warehouse. It's 2 little buildings stuck together. And you can unlock it using that key you just got off the boat. And there'll be a bunch of orange crates in here, some gold bars, some cash on the floor. It's just like all the other warehouses, but with high tier loot in it. And then the laptop that you're looking for is just over here on the shelves. Looks like any other laptop, but the description is Las Almas laptop. So that's what you need to pick up and then extract with. So the final step of this mission is just to extract with that laptop, which should be super easy for you at this point. As a little bonus, there is a much cooler way to extract now, so this is actually a different game. But you can use the heavy choppers now, and I'll very quickly show you how. If you spawn anywhere near the train, this is the best place to find fuel, because we always seem to find it in the same place. You can hop over to one of the covered carriages and find the heavy chopper fuel just sitting on this wooden box. There's a bunch of different places where it's meant to spawn, but this is the one we found reliably. If you do spawn at that one and you get on a train, get off very quickly, because about 20 seconds later, another team are right next to the train tracks and they're going to get on and you're going to have a big fight for it. But if you can find the heavy chopper fuel anywhere, then you can go find the heavy chopper on the map. In this game, it was on high rise, but it can also spawn over at Hafid Port on one of those platforms out to the sea, or it can spawn at the airport. I'm not sure if there's anywhere else it can spawn. And when you actually find the heavy chopper itself, if you get in it, it will complain that it's out of fuel. It won't accept normal fuel cans, but it will accept your special heavy chopper fuel. So go into your inventory, fuel it up, and now you can extract in what I think is the coolest way to extract from DMZ, even if it's a little bit abrupt. You can just fly out of bounds. It doesn't matter which side of the map you do it on, it doesn't matter where you do it, so you're very unlikely to get shot. You can just jump in a heavy chopper, fuel it up, fly it to the edge of the map, and then this happens. Yeah, a little bit odd that you don't get any kind of animation or anything like that, but it's quite a nice, safe way to extract if you do have the fuel and the choppers nearby. So if you found this video useful, if you found it entertaining, don't forget to like and subscribe. Go check out the podcast. I've been doing a daily podcast. You can see it in the podcast section here on YouTube or just in my past live videos. Today, I had a really cool conversation with Jaff, who's an amazing Warzone streamer. We were talking about skill-based matchmaking and transparency from the developers and entitled gamers, loads of good stuff. So make sure you check that out, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.